Check me out now. Montreality, Nacirema Dream, March 26th. Yo. Hey yo. I empty 4 out the 4-4. I'm sick with them heaters. I hit you with a 4-play at 4 like Angie Martinez. I don't start, I finish it. That's just my demeanor. I never start like ball players who sit on the bleachers. Seen this nigga with 2 chains. I couldn't believe this. Told my man I'm about to go get him. He slipping, I need this. I ran up on him with wide eyes, gripping them Ninas. I told him either give it to me or give it to Jesus. I'm in the hood playing for keeps. I live with them keepers. While you butthead niggas is probably living with beavers. Your whole squad nothing but bras. Click full of divas. I know bitches realer than y'all. You niggas is skeezers. Y'all be sending information when they send them subpoenas. That's why you fool like the grub in my fridge and my freezer. Look in my eyes when it comes to that 4-5. Bust it baby, just like plies. Hand on my hammer, banana clip when I jam ya. Hate a man with no manners, I slap your man with a slammer. Uncle Sam got a planner, film your man with a camera. Jam your mans up in cannons, go on the land out in Canada. Rob your bandana, wearing scramblers and gamblers. Give it to panhandlers, I blame Alabama from Atlanta to Tampa. These niggas is animated like Hanna-Barbera. Blood in your mouth to aim ya, lands can't understand ya. My man Mr. Influential got more hoes than Santa, cause he make it rain, dear, like Rudolph and Prancer. If you a fan of my grandma, it's not a man that you scared of, cause you always prepared to use your antenna. Strong as the hand of Montana, you gotta cancel the cancer. Nasty like my links, so hot as a Panama camper. Dirty as Pampers and Hampers. Yes, I am the commander. You only sample my sampler, I'm deep as a Black Panther. Cause there's nothing more clearer than the man in the mirror. But what's good for the goose ain't always good for the gander. Check it out, you basing your eyes on Papoose, and right now you watching Montreality. I was a very observant student in the classroom. You know what I mean? I paid close attention. Mainly in like reading and comprehension in science class. But at the same time, you know, I hung with the wrong crowd. You know what I'm saying? But for the most part, I paid attention and learned what I could, got what I could get out of it. I mean, to be honest with you, I hustled. I went to the streets to make my money. Property. I invested in property. You know, I've always been a homeowner before I even got a record deal. When I got that check, that first big check, definitely to property. The key to success is being consistent and persistent. You know, don't let people get in your way and don't take no for an answer. And I mean really, like, I'm not telling you to be an asshole, but you can't take no for an answer because people will tell you yes and no according to their own benefit. You know, what's more suitable for them. They'll tell you no, so don't take no for an answer. Be consistent and persistent. Never let nobody get in your way, and you're gonna make it. Yeah, I read. Art of War by Sun Tzu. You know the terrain. You know what I'm saying? At time of war, you gotta know your environment. You know what I'm saying? I would say Art of War. Anything from Langston Hughes. You know what I'm saying? I like that. I read the dictionary. You know, the thesaurus. Webster College Edition, you know what I'm saying? Behold the Pale Horse, Milton Cooper, books like that. Things that you can take and, you know, go on in life and take something from the book, not just to read it. The Nacirema Dream. Nacirema Dream, hands down, you know what I'm saying? Because, you know, people of all different corners of the planet come to America in search of that American dream. But the question is, does the American dream really exist? You know what I'm saying? So I just think people risk their freedom, you know, in search of the American dream. Some people go to work and earn an honest living. My book would be called The Nacirema Dream, and it would describe my struggle growing up in the United States, Brooklyn, New York, to being successful, you know what I'm saying, in life. And that's what my book will be called, Nacirema Dream. You know, Nacirema is the word American spelled backwards. Oh man, I probably was a philosopher, man. Hypothetically speaking. I mean, you know, as far as school, you know, to me, the board of education, they only work on your memory. You understand? Like, they teach you something in class, they show you something in class, and then they give you a pop quiz at the end of the week to see if you remember that. To me, that's only working one part of your brain. The brain is the brain is so incredible and huge. There's so many other ways you can use your mind just to memorize. So I feel like they only test us on our memory. When I gain knowledge itself, I really learn how to use my mind and expand and manifest that knowledge that you're learning, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, I encourage students when you're in class and they showing you things, don't just memorize it. Really analyze it and see what you can get from it and how you can apply it to your everyday life. Popeye. I liked the Popeye when I was a kid, man, because Popeye, you know, I hate a fucking bully, you know what I'm saying? Popeye would sit back and Bruno would start fucking with his girl. Popeye once he popped that spinach and get to kicking Bruno in his ass, you know what I'm saying? I like Popeye, man. As a youngin', Mike Tyson Punch Out. I was the only kid in my neighborhood that could beat Mike Tyson. I'm talking about when Mike Tyson Punch Out first came out, I had a fucking line in my hallway because nobody on my block believed that I could beat Mike Tyson. So they would come to my door, knock on the door with a whole fucking line behind them, and everybody would come in one by one and watch me beat Mike Tyson. I had it down packed. All you gotta do, you move to the side, boom, boom, two. You weave again, boom, boom, two. You do that a couple times, then he switch it up, he start throwing that punch, you weave again. Eventually you knock him the fuck out. I was the only one who could beat Tyson, bro. It wasn't a pattern either. You know, a pattern was on Contra, up, up, down, down, left, right, B, A, select, start. When you get all the men on Contra. Tyson, you had to really have skill to beat him because he knocked you out with one punch. You go through Glass Joe and all them motherfuckers, you know. But Tyson, it was hard. But yeah, my favorite game was Mike Tyson Punch Out. I don't even talk too much about that shit, but I was dope at that. And any of y'all who play 2K13, y'all could come on, you know, online and get your ass busted. Nothing happens before it's time, man. You understand? In life, period, nothing happens before it's time. Just to answer your question about that, so I feel like it couldn't be a better time than now. I know a lot of people wanted it to happen back then, but it couldn't happen and the time wasn't right. You know, I feel like with a lot of my music, I was always ahead of my time. So they're starting to catch up a little bit, even though they're kind of slow and dumbed down nowadays. The time is now and I'm excited. I can't wait. The feedback is incredible. Everybody on the edge of their seat to see what I'm gonna deliver. And I think they kind of know. You know what I'm saying? They know what I'm coming with. You know, I'm not a new jack. Everybody know what I bring to the table. This is just gonna be on a whole nother plateau. It's a body of work. You know what I'm saying? So obviously, as you grow older, your appearance might change. You know, you change a couple things on the outskirts, but all the major organs remain the same. The heart, the brain, the concept and the foundation of the album is the same. You understand what I'm saying? But it, you know, it just got better with time, man. Like they say, like fine wine. It just got better with time. And you know, I had obviously I had to change a couple things on the outskirts, you know what I'm saying, update it. But the concept and the message to that album is the same, Nacirema Dream. You know, and that's basically, you can be anything you want to be in life. Follow your dreams. You know what I'm saying? Don't let nobody get in your way. And that's the concept of my album, you know, to achieve. Believe, achieve, succeed. The politics and bullshit of the industry, it did get the best of me. And the reason why I said that is because, you know, I was already aware of the trickery and the bullshit in the music business when I came in. I feel like to a certain extent, I still fell victim to it. And I say that because when I was releasing my music, I always went against the grain. I always went against the system of the music business. You know, I came in and I dropped mixtape after mixtape. You know, not just quantity, but quality music. And usually artists don't do that. If you check, don't take my word for it, if you backtrack, these artists will put out a mixtape, and then when they put out their album, you hear the same music you heard on their mixtape. And I'm not knocking them for that, but that's what they did. You know, with me, I gave you different music consistently. And you know, I was my own machine. You know, I never really got major radio support, but that couldn't stop me. You know, I still was doing world tours, and I was reaping all the benefits of an artist who was on a major label without being on a major label. You know, so when I sat down and I did the record deal, the huge record deal, and I started to work more into their system, I fell victim. You know, you got to remain independent and be smart and take control of your own music. And then also I said that because there was a lot of people who hated on me, didn't want to see me successful because of the power of my message. You know what I mean? And that's not nothing that I'm just saying, that's actual fact. There was people at the label who made statements like before I even signed my deal that, you know, once he come here, you know, we're going to sabotage his project and make sure it doesn't work. So with me having knowledge of these type of comments and still signing to that record label, I feel like I fell victim, you know, so I can be honest and humble myself. That was foolish of me, you know what I'm saying? But I learned from that, and we in a better place now, man. Nothing can stop me, nothing is in my way at this time. what I'm saying? The industry is full of a lot of politics. A lot of people do things for their own reasons instead of being loyal to the talent. Me, I'm a fan of talent. If you don't have talent, I don't like your music. Period. You know what I'm saying? I think talent should dictate the music business, not politics and bullshit. And a lot of people, they bring that to the game. So, you know, I'm already successful. Everything that I dreamed to be as a child, as far as music, I did it already. So they might as well just leave me the hell alone and stop trying to sabotage, because I'm in my glory just being here in front of y'all and able to speak. You know, I'm successful. I can reach other parts of the world and get my message out. That's what I wanted to do. You know what I mean? Everything I do from here on now is to leave something behind for the next generation. And Papoose, I'm not gonna leave behind a message that money and all of that stuff can make you successful. I'm gonna leave the message that talent, consistency, you understand what I'm saying, and dedication to your craft is what you need to have. Because people say, oh, when is my money, that's it. I don't care about nothing else. I think it's beneficial to you now, but I think it's gonna fuck it up for the children. It's gonna fuck it up for the next generation. It's a selfish mentality. I want what I want now, and that's it. I don't care about nobody else. If it ain't about my money, that's it. That mentality is saying, fuck the next generation. I'm just getting what I could get now, and I'm not gonna leave nothing behind. You understand what I'm saying? When you leave the message of be great at what you're doing, study your craft, perfect it, you're leaving something behind because you're teaching them at a young age that they need to study now, so when they become older, they have something that can be beneficial, make money, and then pass it on to the next generation. So you know, put me on a plateau at the Grammys and all that shit, and I'm gonna leave that message behind. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna let the world know. Yeah. I mean, the creative process behind that is very time consuming. You know, A to Z, it took me months to write that. Z to A, it took me even more months to write it. And the creative process goes back to what you asked me earlier. You know, what type of books do you read? And you know, it was me at the time looking at hip hop and saying, you know what, everybody doing this, I want to do something different than what everybody else is doing. So that's when I came up with the concept Alphabetical Slaughter, to do something totally different. You know, so I studied Supreme alphabets and everything, so I kind of had an idea of what direction I wanted to go in. But to be honest with you, I had read that Malcolm X read the entire dictionary. So it influenced me, and it goes back to what I was saying earlier. You know, when you're in a position of power, the kids are watching. You know what I mean? As a child, I read that. He read the entire dictionary. Wow. That's what I did. And then, you know, that's how I wrote Alphabetical Slaughter. You know what I'm saying? I read the entire dictionary. I formulated it. I took my time. I went to sleep and woke up writing that shit. I slept with my face in the book. You know what I'm saying? Woke up, continued, did it again. Ate, bathed, go back to doing it. You know what I'm saying? It was a hard process, but I did it. I did it twice. The second one was a little bit more easier because I did it before. I had the experience. But yeah, to answer your question, that's the process. Reading, consistency, and just dedication. Yo, man, I can't tell you nothing about that. That's one record I'm not going to give away. All I'm going to say is that I feel like that record is going to change the world. If anybody disagree with me, I would challenge that particular person. You know what I'm saying? But you know what? I'm not even going to say that because you got a lot of idiots who want to just disagree just because I said that. I'm going to just say this. That's a record that's going to change the world. Peace to Erykah Badu. I'm not saying I will speak about any other record on the album, but as far as detail, I'm not going to give that one away because that's something I want people to hear and put your thinking caps on and pay attention. It's real special. Yeah, I grew up listening to Primo. You know, honestly, I wouldn't have completed my album without having him on it. You know, they would have had to wait 10 more years to get my album if Premier wouldn't have, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, he came to the table a long time ago. As far as my album is concerned, he agreed to do it. You know what I mean? We built over the years. I did a record with him and Teflon before. Real dope, called Lifetime Membership. And the track that he gave me for the album, oh my goodness, woo! Incredible, man. I can't wait till the world hear it. Shout out to Premier, man. Real authentic hip hop, you know what I'm saying? And I'm excited, man. The creative process was just me taking my time and crafting my lyrics and him taking his time and bringing them official cuts and scratches and putting the beat together. Just dope classic hip hop, man. You know, I'm a fan first and I love it. So people, I think y'all gonna enjoy it. Yeah, the status is basically she was incarcerated, you know, and sentenced to 8 years. She only had to do 6, and right now she's in an incredible position because she come home next year. So I consider that to be extremely short. And when I visit her, some of the material that she let me hear, I feel sorry for these rappers, man. I feel extremely bad, man. Like, it's gonna be a problem, man. All I gotta say is she be home next year. You know, we held it down. She made a positive out of a negative situation. You know, I can't say she did the time standing on her head, because that'd be a lie, that'd be false. But she knocked it out, and she comes home July next year. You know, basically, since she's been incarcerated, we've been having trailer visits. And it was a possibility that, you know, she was going to be having a child. Maybe, we thought at one time, but no, she's not pregnant. My message to the youth is follow your dreams. You know what I'm saying? Follow your dreams. Never let nobody tell you what you can and can't do. And stay in school. That's my message from Papoose. Follow your dreams. Montreality, Nacirema Dream, March 26th. I swear you better buy it. If you don't, you cheating yourself. Don't buy the bubblegum rap. Don't buy the bullshit. Real hip hop, Nacirema Dream, finally here, man. Salute to all my fans. Salute to Montreality. I'm touring over there soon. Thanks for having me. Peace.